Ladies and gentlemen of the interwebs, if you thought it couldn't get any more mad in Canada, I would beg to differ. In another story of trans madness gone even madder, I present to you the story of a hairdresser fined $500 by the Human Rights Tribunal for not offering a other when booking appointments online between male and female. If you think this is a joke, it is. It's Canada. Behold!
In 2023, Alex Frédéric Mignon tried to schedule a haircut at Station 10, a small hair salon that charges by the minute.
The concept seemed great because they charge based on the time that it takes to do the cut and not based on the gender of the person.
Alex identifies as non-binary and was disappointed to find that during the booking process, they were still asked to select between a men's or women's cut. They sent an email asking for accommodation and say they were told to just select one or the other.
It is not fair and it's not legal to tell me, no, since you don't fit into my worldview, I don't want to do anything with you and I don't want you as my customer.
Alexi,
I'm going to pause it just for 1 second and appreciate that the news outlet is systematically referring to this man as they, them. And we're going to see it in the article as well. I also want to pause it and say this. What if the individual doesn't identify as human? Do they then have to offer a non-human? They are species amorphous, species fluid, and they don't identify as human. We have to offer male, female, gender neutral, or species neutral. I mean, species is a human construct after all. This story is abject insanity and emblematic of what's going on in Canada and other virtue signaling, suicidally empathetic parts of the world.
Lebrec is a co-owner of the Salon. He says the policy has nothing to do with ideology. He says because the business model is low cost, high volume, they only take bookings online and ask for their customers' gender to help with scheduling.
How about we don't ask for gender then? Just sex. Your chromosomes, XXXY. Well, I'm chromosome fluid. I don't care what my chromosomes designated me at birth. I identify as XYZ chromosome. Is that even a legit possibility of chromosomes? I don't think so. Chromosome fluid. All right, no, forget it. No gender. Chromosomes, XX or XY. And if you happen to be intersex, one of the medical conditions, you can put other.
Typically takes longer for a woman's haircut than a man's haircut, so we optimize our agendas accordingly. We also get statistics for marketing.
But for Alex, the lack of accommodation had a major impact.
Stop right there. The lack of accommodation had the major impact. This is the I'm not saying this to be mean, and I'm not saying this to be bombastic, and we're going to come back to the video. The lack of booking availabilities had a major impact. This is where failure to treat is the actual inhumane punishment to the ill individual. It was never the failure for them to offer a gender-neutral option that caused this individual's distress. What causes this individual distress is something beyond that. They say like anxiety is a coat hook waiting for a jacket. Whether it's this guy not getting his gender neutral, the anxiety, the distress, it's a symptom of the mental illness. And right now, the coat hook is just this particular hairdresser not offering a they, them, ze, user option between male and female. But listen to the distress that this man went through allegedly for what he's attributing to the lack of a third gender-neutral option. Listen to this.
I was already spiraling into a huge mental health crisis, and it precipitated my fall into complete disability. I was unable to work for a year and a half.
So to me, it also sounds like this individual, if they're claiming disability because they were unable to work for a year and a half because they didn't have the they option on male, female to book a hair appointment, sounds like there might be some fraud going on in terms of workman's comp, work person's comp, work they comp.
Alex filed a complaint with the Human Rights Commission, which recommended a $500 settlement.
The Human Rights Commission, the same one which will refresh everybody's memory, issued a $30,000 fine to a British Columbia restaurant that misgendered a gender-fluid transgender employee by calling him sweetheart. I forget which way it went in that particular case. We have administrative tribunals that are basically Soviet-style bodies that administer not law, not justice, but politics, under penalty of fine. Listen.
Labrec refused to pay, so Alex sued for $12,000.
And we fought back because we didn't agree with the prejudice that we might have caused.
Labrec says a few months after receiving the initial complaint, the Salon updated its website to include a gender-neutral booking option. Earlier this month, the courts agreed with the Human Rights Commission and ordered Station 10 to pay $500 in.
That's Palais de Justice. That's where I used to practice. That's in Old Montreal. The Palais, the Palace of Justice, ratifying the administrative court's fine of $500 because this man only offered the only two biological choices when booking.
Damages.
It's clearly a precedent. The amount we have to pay is relatively small compared to the precedent it creates for legal debates in Quebec.
Yeah, but also they complied, and now they offer the third option. He, male, she, female, other, as if there's another.
For Alex, who also made headlines in 2023 for a hunger strike to try to force RAMQ to provide a gender-neutral option on the health insurance card.
RAMQ is, well, you can see it, Régie de l'assurance maladie. It's the healthcare, Medicare card in Quebec. Hunger strike. There's nothing mentally ill about any of this. It's about justice. It's not about somebody who has undiagnosed, untreated gender dysphoria or other mental illness. And I'm not even saying that to be judgmental. They think that they're going to cater to this person by offering they when booking a hair appointment. That'll keep this person from going into a deep state of depression. My arse.
The precedent alone is a win.
It was discrimination, and non-binary people should not be forced to pick between men and women if they don't want to identify as such.
They say it may seem like a small inconvenience to some, but to them, it's about being able to participate in society.
Can you believe the ratifying nature of this report? I saw the video and I was like, no, this can't be real. You got to go to the other propagandist outlets of Canadian media. And the funny thing is, when I saw this, the image struck me as one of the robots in, I forget what the movie is, someone in the chat's going to know, which is what led me to think, like, how about if they don't identify as human? And you say, well, I want a third option. I don't identify as human. It's my reality. And you're causing me distress by not defying logic and catering to my obvious mental illness delusions. And the amazing thing is they cloak it as benevolence. If you don't do it, it's because you're stubborn, you're transphobic, you're intolerant. As opposed to them being the tyrants who say, you must cater to my own self-identification. In what realm of the universe is that justice? Your freedoms end at my nose. My freedoms don't end at your self-identification, fears, and or mental delusions. Non-binary client wins discrimination case against Montreal hair salon. CBC News. Listen to this. Francis G. Mignaska. I wonder, I believe they're told that they have to, they being the journalists, I'm talking about more than one person. I believe that they, the journalists, are told that they have to refer to Frédéric as a them throughout this article. When Alex Frédéric Mignon suddenly began experiencing hair loss, this is why I've already thought, are there more than one person? They thought a haircut would be just the thing to help them feel comfortable again. He thought a haircut would be just the thing to help him feel confident again. How long until this type of rhetoric is outright illegal in Canada? But they didn't realize trying to book an appointment at a Montreal hair salon would lead them to a years-long challenge. We're taking crazy pills, people. Nobody on earth thought it could lead to a years-long challenge, let alone one that he would win at the end of the day. Chapter came to a close earlier this month when Quebec's Human Rights Tribunal ordered the Station 10 hair Longueuil to pay them $500 in damages. We heard the rest of it. Salon says it feels extorted. Well, it's some point, somebody looking for meaning in life just found it. Now they'll be a hero in their own mind because they stood up for the rights of they-thems to defy biology, impose their will on a patient and tolerant society, and they got ratification. He got ratification by the Human Rights Tribunal and the courts. And now everybody in Canada, go make it a little bit more difficult to do business. How many genders do you have to offer? Is it going to be discriminatory if you don't offer all 29 genders? I mean, you did he, her, And do you need to proactively list all of them? Zay, zer, jem, dem, zin? Or is other not going to be enough anymore? It's not going to be sufficiently inclusive. You're reducing my gender identity to other. This is actually the state of Canada going on right now before our very eyes. Progress. It's regressivism under the pretext of progressivism. And it's going to become law. It's going to become precedent. It's going to be enshrined even more than it already is in the criminal code, in administrative tribunals. And if you even accidentally slip up, even if you're one of the good ones, you're going to have to go through the public flogging, retribution, suicidal empathy. And this person is now somehow going to think that this ratification is somehow going to resolve the self-harm, mental issues, crises going on in this person's head. It never will. What will, however, potentially would be treatment, not affirmation of delusions, affirmation of mental illness, tyrannizing others in the name of affirming someone's mental illness.